Severe thunderstorms, heavy rain, high winds, and even a tornado threat.
Our team of meteorologists kept you safe all afternoon.
We don't have a tornado warning yet, but we will likely have one short order.
Rushing water on a city street.
Here's a river.
We're coming on right now with new video of the damage and the cleanup.
We are live where the National Weather Service confirms a tornado touchdown.
Live, local, late-breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News at 5 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
So you're looking live right now at Storm Tracker 2 HD radar and a second day of storms really just pounding Metro Atlanta and also North Georgia. Good afternoon. I'm George Estevez.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Linda Stouffer, sitting in for Jovita Moore. Well, we've already had one tornado warning in the viewing area today. We are also seeing live pictures of breaking news. Check it out. Several trees. You can see right there some big trees down in Sandy Springs. News Since 4, we are seeing damage where a tree hit a house on Bridgewater Drive, and we'll take you live right there in just a moment.
So here's the latest we have now. We were with the National Weather Service here today surveying the damage in southwest Atlanta from Monday's tornado. They told us the storm had speeds as high as 110 miles an hour and was possibly 300 yards wide. That's 3 football fields. It was on the ground for several miles.
And we have half a dozen reporters and photographers bringing you new reports of damage today and the recovery from Monday. Plus, power crews working now to get the lights back on for everyone still affected.
But our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage begins with Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns and meteorologist Brad Nitz live right now in Severe Weather Center 2. Glenn?
Yeah, widespread rain all across northern Georgia. Some of us getting pounded with some strong thunderstorms. No severe thunderstorm warnings right now, but really getting hammered here in Henry County, in and around McDonough, down toward Griffin here in Spalding County, and in Barnesville here in Pike and Lamar County, also back into Meriwether County. Again, total lightning strikes here, 42 in the last 15 minutes. These storms are moving toward the east at about 40 miles per hour or so. So they're heading as we head to Covington here around Newton County and Jasper County in short order. So be prepared. Nothing severe at this point in time, but some lightning, thunder, and locally heavy rainfall. As we head up into far northern Georgia, a general decrease in the intensity of the rain up here over the last 30 minutes or so. We've gone from those deep reds and oranges to mostly greens across northern Georgia right now. The rainfall has been staggering again today. This is 1.98 inches here in Haralson County. Yesterday, 5.2 inches of rain. It is unbelievable. And just to give you a little idea how much water that is, 1 acre of ground with 1 inch of water is 27,000 gallons, weighs 113 tons. 7 inches of rain here over the last 2 days. What's ahead for tonight? Well, the main cold front itself will be moving on through. And meteorologist Brad Nitz has more on that.
And that front, when it comes through, is going to bring the risk for more heavy rain and the potential for flooding and flash flooding. So a flash flood watch remains in effect for all of Metro Atlanta and North Georgia through the rest of this evening into tonight through 2 a.m. Tomorrow morning. So there's the flash flood watch. Here's the impacts. Flooding of creeks, streams, and rivers. We've already seen some of that, the water rising out of the banks. In addition to that, urban areas, a lot of pavement and asphalt, a lot of runoff with that, and low-lying areas could have some significant flooding and flash flooding. And you remember the saying, turn around, don't drown. When you drive into a water-covered road, you may think that water is very shallow, but in fact, the road could be washed out, and that could lead, obviously, to some serious situations. So the flood threat is high for us this evening into the night. The damaging wind threat, moderate, and the tornado threat, low but not zero. There are more storms back towards the west moving in our direction. So here's what we're looking at now. Those storms in Mississippi moving into Alabama through this evening. And by 8 or 9 o'clock, moving into West Georgia, it'll bring with it some heavy rain, the risk for flooding, strong, isolated severe storm possible, and then it'll start to diminish as we head through the night tonight. Coming up, I'll take you through the forecast hour by hour, when we'll see our pattern change, sunshine return, and much quieter weather return. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Brad, thank you. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues now with breaking news.
Multiple trees down right now in North Fulton County. It's a mess. During Channel 2 Action News at 4, we showed you power lines down along River Valley Road and Coalwood Way in Sandy Springs. In breaking this hour, Channel 2's Mike Pachenik, you have been out in it. You moved a few blocks where a tree clipped a house.
Yeah, we are here off of Bridgewater Drive, Linda. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a sense of what happened here. We got several trees that came down on top of these power lines, and then if you look up that hill there, you can see damage to this home where another tree clipped part of the roof and took it off. Now, neighbors tell us nobody was home at the time. The homeowner actually was out of town, so thankfully nobody was hurt out here. But neighbors described quite a frightening scene.
Seemed to be a microburst.
As storms bore down on Sandy Springs, Brooke Brown says she knew something was wrong up the street from her River Valley Road home.
We heard tons of pops, so we knew the transformer had gone, but we didn't know exactly what had gone on outside, but we have a couple trees down across the line.
The down lines forced the closure of the busy road just in time for school dismissal. Up the street, we found more trees down off Bridgewater Drive. One came down and damaged part of this house. The homeowner wasn't there and nobody was injured. Georgia Power's outage map shows more than 1,000 customers in the dark after the late-day deluge. Deja vu all over again for Brown and her neighbors.
2 trees in 2 days. We had one down yesterday as well.
And the power was out yesterday, too?
Yes.
For how long?
Yesterday, just about an hour.
But we're going on just a few hours now since those trees first came down, and the folks in these neighborhoods still don't have power. I checked the Georgia Power website. They say really just bear with them as they continue to try to restore power from these lines that came down and all of the damage done out here. Again, thankfully, nobody hurt, though, when the tree clipped this house here on Bridgewater Drive in Sandy Springs. Reporting live in Sandy Springs, North Fulton County, I'm Mike Pachenik, Channel 2 Action News.
Mike, thank you. That takes a lot of patience to deal with that 2 days in a row. And more people lost power today. Some were still out from yesterday. We checked with Georgia Power in the last 10 minutes and found more than 1,000 customers in Atlanta do not have power. Georgia EMCs show nearly 1,000 customers without power at this point, and they're working hard to get it turned back on.
A tornado with 110-mile-per-hour winds, and it was close to 300 yards wide. That's what caused this damage in southwest Atlanta. We were with the National Weather Service today, right between Cascade Road and New Hope Road. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues now with Channel 2's Tom Regan. And Tom, people are working hard out there, even in the rain.
Well, George, with the heavy rain moving in, there is an absolute race to get blue tarps onto damaged homes like this one right across the street. A large tree toppled onto the roof and punched a huge hole through it during yesterday's tornado, which the National Weather Service confirmed to us today.
A small army of tree removal crews have taken over this southwest Atlanta neighborhood to clear dozens of large trees toppled by Monday's tornado.
It was almost like we were in a war zone.
Clarence Collins and his wife hunkered in the basement as trees hammered his house.
What did you think when the storm passed and you came out and looked at all the damage?
I thought it was like a bomb we had been bombed by somebody.
No question, though, it was a tornado that hit here yesterday.
Yeah.
You're just trying to determine the power of the tornado.
The strength and then how long, it tracked.
Meteorologist David Nadler of the National Weather Service toured the damage from the tornado that initially struck in Douglas County and moved east, carving a 2-mile path of destruction. Based on the damage he's seen, he estimated the wind speed.
Right now, what I've seen, anywhere from 95 to 105, 110 miles per hour. Pretty strong. In the hardest hit areas, it might have been a couple hundred yards wide, or if not, a little bit bigger.
Oh, it was absolutely a tornado.
Like so many in this neighborhood, Jamie Ashman and her family dashed to the basement to take cover with seconds to spare.
And we saw a mailbox actually floating in the air. Heard tree snappings.
Clarence Collins says there's a lot of repair work to do on his tornado-battered home, and it's not just the roof.
And I just looked in there, and I can see cracks in the wall where the 2 walls come together.
Now, tree removal, of course, is a very dangerous business. I spoke with a crew about the tools and strategies they use to keep themselves safe. I'm putting together that part of the story for Channel 2 Action News at 6. Live in southwest Atlanta, Tom Regan, Channel 2 Action News.
And safety is a reality for all those crews working hard out there. Tom Regan, thank you. And we want to tell you this, because you might be surprised to learn who's responsible for tree damage. So let's break it down. A tree may be rooted in a neighbor's yard, but if it lands on your yard, the law says in most cases you have to pay to remove it. Some things to remember: watch for power lines, be careful with the branches that can cause injury as you cut them down.
We're seeing the damage in a Decatur neighborhood too after flash flooding on Monday. Neighbors took this video. Look at that. It shows Willow Lane looking like a river. It carried away landscaping, yard waste, garbage cans, other debris too. You can see it flowing right there. Homeowners say it floods every time there's heavy rain, but that is probably the worst they've seen in a decade.
It seemed like it was a perfect combination of a slow soaking rain followed by a quick rain, so the soil was saturated, and then it rained all at once, and then that's why we got so much runoff.
Just nowhere for it to go?
No place for it to go, but down.
And getting more rain today, DeKalb County says it's aware of drainage issues and says upgrades to the drainage system may take a while.
Let's continue now with more breaking news. A shooting involving a car near a busy highway. Channel 2's Steve Galebach live for us now on Valley Brook Road. It's right near Highway 78 in DeKalb. Steve, what can you tell us?
Now, we know there was some type of chase that started in an apartment complex near here. Accident here on the side of Highway 78, and then a shooting that took place, and that's why detectives are here right now looking at this scene. They just have a record that pulled up. We know this started on Valley Brook Road, just maybe a quarter mile from here, this apartment complex right behind these trees to the left, and it ended up somehow the victim and the shooter in two different cars here on the side of the road. This was not road rage, but people that knew each other, and then again it led to a shooting right here on the side of Highway 78. This entrance ramp again is blocked, and this record is going to block our view here, but both eastbound lanes headed back towards 285 are open. It looks like they're going to get ready to clear this within the next 10 to 15 minutes. But again, a shooting took place here. We know one man is now in the hospital, critical condition. They found him here at the scene of this accident with multiple gunshot wounds, according to police here at the scene. Live in DeKalb County, Steve Galebach, Channel 2 Action News.
Right now, I'm tracking heavy rain and storms in the South Metro and another line of severe storms moving into western Alabama. That'll impact our local weather here later this evening, and I'll take you through the timeline and what our local threats will be coming up.
Inside the unique training program a local police department is using.
It doesn't teach punching and kicking. It teaches how to control people calmly.
We'll show you how officers are put to the test on call.
Demand is falling for vaccines. So far in Georgia, 26% of people are fully vaccinated.
We're trying to get out into the community at least 5 days a week.
The new push now to get those numbers up and the change that could make this more appealing to more people.